When the box arrives, this is what you get: an outer cardboard box, plenty of packing, and an MDF in a case that the whole thing is bolted to, etc, etc. Lift the case out with the straps. Keep the box with all the bits, because you're going to put all the packing that you take off around the Loco back in the box and keep it just in case. You have to pack it back the way it came. So although the instructions are very good, a pictorial like in this video is probably going to help a lot of people. Undo the straps, as you can see here. Now, unfortunately for me, coming from the USA to the UK, the MDF outer case fell apart when I opened it, but it can screw back together, it's no problem. Take all the packing, noticing where everything goes. You have the tender at the front with some spare bits where I'm just holding now, bits and pieces in there, and so on and so forth. The Loco and the tender are screwed to two plinths at the bottom, the red, dark red pieces you can just see showing now. So we take all the bits off, put them in the box, lift the tender. This one is not screwed on, it's used by tie wraps. You have to undo all 4 tie wraps. Again, keep the tie wraps. They don't usually come this long, especially for this tender. They're very, very strong. I really should have used pliers on here to undo it, but never mind. Take it all apart. Now the little protective pieces of white foam you see on the corners to stop the wire marking the tender need to be saved, because if you ever send it back for repair or what have you, these have to be used, otherwise your tender will be permanently marked by the tie wraps. Now I had a series of zip bags already, so that these tie wraps and the foam particular to this tender were put in bags and then in the box where the box is going to be stored. Right, so we're starting with the main Loco, and there are screws underneath. Now on these screws between the board and the Loco there are very hard plastic spacers, so don't just take the screws out and then forget about the spacers. The screws are, all 4 screws are paired off, and there's 3 different lengths. So once they're all undone, turn it back on its front, onto the base rather, and then carefully under each truck, one hand under each truck, yeah, it doesn't look like I've taken one of the screws off completely, so we'll just double check which one was holding it. Right, I've done that. So there we are. Now you can see the spacers. There are different types of spacers that have to go in. So if you keep in your mind's eye, revert back to this video, and then again, all put in a zip bag, and the plinths all go back in the transportation box. Now at this point I got some towels because I'm going to turn it on its top to do the lubricating and to just check that nothing got damaged in transit. And also you will find that you have to fit the front bogie arrangement, the little truck, four-wheel truck at the front. So it's turned onto its back. I just tuck the towels up to protect it from tipping over, and use some light engine oil as per the instructions. You see the truck fitted. There's one screw in the bottom, and then the free bit that revolves is trapped underneath that large washer, unscrewed, put on, and the large washer screwed back on. So all the wheels, just tiny drop of lubrication. And I did the same, as you'll see in the video, with the tender. Now once the wheels are done, I also did all the moving parts, all the little pivots, the pistons, the rods, everything that moved on the outer part of the wheels, all had one drop of oil just to make sure that everything was going to move freely. I'm sure it says that in the instructions, but don't over oil, just one drop, and that should be it. I found the polystyrene little bit stuck to it as well from the packing. You obviously have to blow those free. We don't want those stuck to things. It is a bit of a pain, but just one of those things. It's the packing I've used. Now this is the piston rods, all the upper and lower rods, or just one drop smear so that they go in and out of the cylinders easily. By doing all this lubrication on all the control rods, you're making sure that the motors don't come under excessive stress when they're having to force against friction as well as drive the wheels. So here we go with the tender. Just the wheels to do here. These will have a bit of lateral movement or side to side, so you can just put a drop of oil on the axle, pull it towards you, and oil the other side. The actual movable truck at the front of the tender needs it also in the other side of the axle. I'm just getting last little bits of polystyrene blown out and picked off.